Let's jump in to our first call here.
Hello.
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
Hey, this is Steve. I was giving you a call back. Sorry, we were playing phone tag earlier. Was actually just calling about a property I believe you own over on...
Yeah, I live there.
Oh, do you? Okay. I wasn't sure. What do you...
Remember this, guys. You have 5 seconds to get the next 30 seconds. You can see that he just used the first name. He's not going Mr. or Mrs. He's not going sir or ma'am. He's not going full name. He's calling by the first name. You want to sound like a neighbor because you are one, typically, if you're working in that area, or at least you're doing business in that area. You don't want to sound like, somebody that's calling for, some sort of customer service. You know what I mean?
Sure, if maybe you consider an offer on your property, or if you have any other properties you might look at.
Well, I have a rental property that I told the people to move out.
When you ask this question, would you consider an offer on your property, guys? There are only 6 responses. There's only 6 responses. And it's a variation of one of those 6 responses is going to be thrown back at you. Yes, what you just heard, fantastic, right? No, maybe I'll sell in the future. There's a maybe here on the next call, but I'll really break down why it's not the best lead to really take seriously. How much will you give me is the 4th. Who are you and how'd you get my number? Those are the 6 responses that you'll get. So if you understand that you're going to get some form of those 6 responses and you're prepared for it, you can know how to respond after you get those responses. So he got a yes response here.
Out December 2nd. The address is 9.
So they're supposed to...
Now remember, he didn't get a yes to the house that he was calling about. He got a yes to a different property, which is really interesting that he was asking. This is Steve. He's in the Rhino tribe. He sent me these way back when, but I thought that these were great to showcase here. He asked, would you consider an offer on your property or any other properties? Really interesting there. Maybe you try that today. Maybe you try that with your calls and see if that gets you a better response.
Be out by when?
December 2nd.
Gotcha.
What did he just get right off the bat? Out of the 4 pillars, what did he get? Put it in the chat. Yeah, Anton knows. Timeline, baby. Timeline.
Sounds good. So you're going to be looking to offload that one once they're out of there?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. You know what you might be looking for it, price-wise?
Boom, goes right into price. Goes right into price. Why not? You know what I mean? Oh, you already made the decision you're selling. So how much are you asking for it? So now we're going price.
Well, I had it on the market for $70,000.
Okay.
Nice. What does that tell you? What does that tell you if they had it on the market at 70,000? What do you think the bottom line is when somebody has it on the market at 70,000? Do they expect to get 70,000 net in their pocket? No. There's realtor costs. There's escrow and title costs. There's probably going to be inspection costs. Maybe they're asking for some concessions in this market, right? The buyer's going to ask for some concessions to help them pay their closing costs. So all of a sudden you had it on the market at 70,000. 70,000 truly turns into 50,000 pretty quick. 50 to 55,000, depending on how the inspection goes.
About a year ago.
And did you get any offers on that?
Well, I did have one offer, but the renters weren't very
accommodating.
accessible.
Yeah, I know how that goes. That's tough.
Confirm and approve. Oh, yeah, I know how that goes. Yeah, see the active listening? Steve's doing a great job here. He's not just silent. He's not just like an AI. You know what I mean? We're asking a question and it's like,
oh, that is a very good answer. Let me ask you this question next. Beep, boop, bop, boop.
How's what's the condition of the property? Or have you been in there since I guess those guys have been there?
But it needs work. It needs work. Yeah, they've been there 20 years.
guys, we are a minute 18 into the conversation. A minute 18. What? He's got 3 of them, right? He's got 3. The only one that he hasn't really squeezed here is motivation. What is the problem? Why is he selling this, right? And so he's gone right at the bat at timeline. He understands that they're looking in December. That's when the tenants are out. He knows what price expectation there is because he already had it on the market a year ago at 70,000. And what's the condition? It needs some work. Beautiful. Minute 18 in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had 9 rental properties, and I'm down to the house I'm living in that house.
Gotcha. Okay.
What does that tell you? He had 9 rental properties, and now he's down to the house that he lives in and 1 more. Guess what that means? Guess what kind of avatar that is? It's one that we run across 50% of the time, 35 to 50%. Howard smashed it. Howard's on it today. Tired landlord. It's incredible what happens, guys, when people buy rental properties and then they go, hey, you know what? I don't really want to deal with this because I've got my job. I got my crazy kid that's running around wild. I've got this dog. I've got my parents are getting older. I'm taking care of them. I'm doing this project at my house. I'm putting new cabinets in the garage. I'm all these things, right? I'm coaching little anything, right? All your attention's pulled in so many different directions. People don't really understand. It's not time management. It's not even priority management. It's not even energy management. It truly is attention management rules the day. Where do you put your attention? And when you have 9 rental properties, that means that you have 9 people living there that you're getting rent from every single month, hopefully. It also probably means that you have 9 mortgages on those properties that you're responsible for. You have 35. This is the stats. You could Google this. The average maintenance cost of a rental property is anywhere from like $2,500 to $3,500 a year. A year. So if you've got 9 rental properties and it costs you $2,500 to $3,500 in maintenance, that means you have to have people that are going to do the maintenance, or you're doing the maintenance. Right? And the average cash flow on a property is $250 to $300. That's your whole maintenance cost. So you're not getting passive cash flow. This is all about appreciation. And I think he said he owned this property 20 years. And it's worth $70,000. It's not even worth $70,000. You know what I mean? Like, what did he buy it for? $7,000 20 years ago? I bet he bought it for $50,000 to $60,000 to $70,000 20 years ago. So this guy is in an endless loop. He's in quicksand. He's in quicksand of owning all of these rental properties that aren't giving him any cash flow nor appreciation. The best he has from this is squeezing out a little teeny amount of depreciation. It's the truth. You get to like the average rental property if you don't do accelerated depreciation, which I highly suggest nobody does. It really limits your ability to sell that property for a while, because if you take advanced accelerated depreciation and you sell that property before I think 7 or 9 years, somebody correct me in the chat, tells you how often I do it. You have to pay that back. You have to pay the credit that you got back. Right? Anyway, going off on a tangent about owning rental properties, certainly owning rental properties that never appreciate is a trap. It's a scam. Stay away from it. Well, let's get back to our tired landlord.
I mean, it's definitely something we can look at. We buy properties all cash, pay all the closing costs for you.
See, what I would have done here, it's not bad. It's not bad that he went on this approach where he's now telling the benefits of the offer that we can make. Cash, as is, close on your timeline, net offer, we're paying the closing costs. There's no real estate commissions. There's none of that. We're just going to come in, buy it as is, right? There's a lot of benefit to this, especially for somebody that wants this to happen quickly and with the least amount of hassles. Remember, speed and convenience and price. Speed, convenience, price. If they want speed and convenience, then they have to work at our price, or the price of somebody that's going to give them cash as is. And anybody taking that risk is going to look to get rewarded for that risk, which means a lower price. That's just how buying property works.
No commissions, buy it completely as is, so you don't have to put any more money into it or worry any more about it. What do you know what kind of what you might take for an offer like that if we can put something together for you?
Well, 70,000.
Yeah, too fast. Of course he's going to say 70,000. That's the first number that he just said. That's what he put it on the market. We don't go, I think the discovery has to be stronger. The discovery about the motivation has to be stronger, because the guy wanted to sell in December. I don't know if that's months ahead, so he's just going to throw out anything at this point. It could be, and that's really often what happens when you are being proactive, reaching out to the property owners, cold calling them, right? Is you usually catch them before they've really gone down the path to taking it seriously. But they have made the decision, but there's a longer timeline there, right? I want to really understand, like when he said I had 9 properties, I'm down to 1, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what happened? Were your tenants just awful? What was happening with that? You had this big portfolio and you stripped it back, and is it just to have a better life? Trust me, I know. Right. And then you get into all these things, and if you can make them laugh and make them feel comfortable, that force field that's around everybody that we call for the first time starts dissolving, and we can really start getting into the discovery process. How can we serve this person? Obviously, we can only offer a certain amount because buyers determine value. We can only offer a certain amount. But in that, are we in an alignment? What does this solve? Is he truly looking for speed and convenience? That's what this whole thing is about.
You're looking for the 70? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, let me do a little digging on this one, because I actually I had the property here, but let me do a little research on this one, man, and I'll circle back around with you. Is this the best number to reach you?
Yes.
734. All right,
yeah,
Dave.
So here, guys, a little bit short. I would have maybe he's feeling that the guy's kind of starting to stiff arm him a little bit. Maybe he's got, we interrupt people's day. Truly, when you're being proactive, when you don't have a budget, we're really interrupting people's day. It's the truth. And so people have the right to be mad at us. People have the right to, kind of shorten the conversation or rush us in the conversation. But I will tell you that the more that you can get by using these 7 techniques, I'll put it up after I do this because it'll screw up where we're at in this breakdown. But the more that you can, really confirm and approve, have that active listening. If they ask a question, respond with the question. See, when they ask questions, that's amazing. This guy hasn't asked any questions. He's just been answering questions, right? When they start asking questions of us, we're like, okay, this is good. They're trying to build trust. They're not trying to rush us with the answers. They're not trying to just get off the phone. They want to stay on here. They're curious about what's going on. And that's when the magic happens, truly.
And I'm gonna shoot you my text or my cell phone number via text, so just so you have it. I'm calling you from my work number here, so just so you know it's me.
Always great to do this, guys. And I always say, save me as Brent Homebuyer. Jamil always says, save me as Jamil has the cash. You know what I mean? Something that just sticks out so that when you call, it says exactly who you are, so that when they answer, they know that they want to talk to you. Now, are they going to ignore you? Sure. They're going to send you to voicemail instantly? Sure. But a lot of them do respond when they're ready, because they're curious, because they do, oftentimes people want the speed and convenience. Not everybody wants to put their home on the market. Not everybody wants to take a long process, especially now. You see the average days on market just creeping up. It's taken, from the time that you sign the paperwork, list it on the market and get it sold and actually no longer own that property, is like 90 to 120 days now. This isn't the 2020, 2021 market. It takes a while. I mean, you're making a 4 to 5 to 6 month commitment to hopefully keeping the property as clean as possible if you want to get the most out of it. Now you got a vacant property. Vacant properties are just being targeted. There's a guy here, probably several people, that goes on Zillow, finds empty houses in the Phoenix area here by our office. He goes on Zillow, he looks at the vacant houses. He doesn't break into the houses, but he goes into the backyard, sets up camp, and plugs his phone and other things into the outside outlets. And then he just lives in the backyard or in a shed or under a patio, or if there's patio furniture, lives there. Just goes at vacant houses when it's dark, goes into the backyard, and is just living there, right? People don't want to deal with that. They want it done fast, especially if the property is vacant. Some people, just letting you know.